green. We're ready. Now we're good. We're good.
All right, everybody. We're here at... What park is this?
This would be... I don't know the park name. Somewhere in the river valley. What would this be considered?
There is a park name because there's a sign. Anyways, we're in a park in Edmonton.
Is there a park name for this?
Yeah, for sure there is. Absolutely.
This isn't Government Hill, is it?
This might be Government Hill. That might be exactly.
Is this Government Hill?
That might be. There's no signs over here. I don't know why.
All I know, the only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm putting two and two together, is that there's the government building on top of us, and there's a hill separating us and the government hill, and the government building on top of the hill.
Wait, where's the government?
On top of that hill? Isn't there a government building?
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Anyways, welcome to a very special episode of A Moment with Jay. It is we took a field trip today. It's unreal. November 18th. It is both of our birthdays.
Indeed.
And on a very, very rare treat, it hasn't snowed on our birthday.
Yeah. Jeez. Mom was asking the other day too. I think this is probably maybe the second or third time this has ever happened to us. We haven't had snow on our birthday.
It's for us to be outside.
And it's nice out.
It's nice.
It's pretty nice out right now. Like, I feel like I don't need this jacket, but this jacket is like right on the line, you know?
Yeah, like there's literally ice floating in the water right now. No. It's actually so chilling right now.
It is pretty chill.
The park is pretty dead.
People are just walking out for a nice autumn stroll. That guy's stretching over there.
It's chilling out
here. That
here.
guy looks like he's about to have a picnic or something. People are, I forget that, like, you know what I mean? This is nice weather. It's like if people came from the States, they'd be fucking freezing right now. But like for us Edmontonians, this is like, holy shit, I can't believe it's so nice out. And it's like, you know what I mean? +2 outside.
Yeah, it was still freezing this morning before the sun was up. But now it's
pretty decent.
It's always nice to have. This is as nice of weather as we can ask for on our birthday.
And this is probably my favorite type of weather because it's nice out, but all the bugs are gone. There's no mosquitoes. I hate spiders. All the spiders are gone. That's the part I love.
You make a solid point.
No bugs.
And you know what? Another thing I was thinking about recently too was we also live in the one place without fucking rats.
But there's rats coming here, isn't there?
Yeah, but I think they're getting
exterminated.
Because we have like a rats team. We have a team that you can call in Alberta if you see rats anywhere, and they will come and figure it out. I was like, we're one of the only places in the entire world. That's gross.
Rats are disgusting.
Rats are disgusting.
I find even mice disgusting.
Yeah, but the thing that's different between rats and mice is rats are also very smart.
Oh, they're like, it's like a bird almost. Is it that smart? Are rats as smart as birds? No way, right?
I don't know. That was a weird question.
I don't know why I thought that. I just immediately went to birds.
Because it's like when I think of, I was just watching this thing last night actually, and it's this dude. He's like a food YouTuber dude, and he was in what country was it? Somewhere where it's okay to eat dolphin. And so I was like, I didn't even know this. That's what I was like, bro, I didn't even know this was controversial because I didn't know people ate dolphin. And they do in this one country. And so they have a fucking dolphin steak, and it looks like beef almost. It looks
dolphin steak.
It looks like tuna mixed with beef is what it looks like. And they start searing this up in this pan, and I'm like, whoa, I feel like I almost shouldn't be watching this.
It's dolphin steak.
And then they eat it because I'm like,
how much do they pay for that?
Well, in that country, it's like a common thing to eat.
Like what you would go to like the keg and get like a dolphin steak?
I don't know if this country has.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They got like a chain restaurant that's just like, yeah, you come and get our dolphin steak. That's wild, bro.
Oh yeah, it was a wild. That's what I was.
Wild.
I was wild. That's the thing with a lot of those cooking shows is, man, it is so nice. Actually,
It is nice. But like, you know what I mean? I would probably pay like $150 to try out like a dolphin steak.
I don't know if I could.
If I went to a different restaurant, even, let's say, and they're like, "Oh yeah, our thing is this dolphin steak," I'd be like, "That's fucked up." But
they say the
like,
same
is it
thing.
good?
But they do the same thing. So why that's fucked up for a couple of reasons. Dolphins are smart. That's why I brought this up to begin with.
Yeah.
Because you said bird, and I was like, that was a jump. I was like, I don't know. I know crows are kind of smart.
How do we get on this conversation? Oh yeah, rats.
That's what. So that's what. That's
so like, you know what I mean? This is a good little. This has to be a bird has to be smarter than a rat, and a dolphin definitely is smarter than a bird, right? Or is that cap?
I'm gonna say that's cap just because we don't have the facts.
Yeah,
we don't. I don't know.
This is where we're in nature. We don't have a computer.
We just bullshit.
I'm gonna say that though. I feel that I can say that confidently, and I feel like people should definitely fact check me. But I feel like a rat would be the lowest of intelligence on this list, and that a bird would be in the middle, and a dolphin would definitely be smarter than both of them. But I also don't know.
And then a monkey after that is a monkey or chimps and gorillas and stuff smarter than dolphins? I think so because they can learn sign language, right? I don't know any.
Fuck. This is now.
Wow, we're 30 years old and don't know fuck all.
Apparently.
Damn it.
This is not our field of study.
This is not our field.
This is not a.
Ask me about your bicep femoris. So, how does it feel? So we turn. This is 30.
30.
This is 30. We're recording this
30.
and dropping this on the same day. So this is legitimately the birthday podcast. So
How does 30 feel?
How does it feel? Some highlights of the year.
Definitely career highlights. I don't know. I feel like this whole year was kind of like a highlight year. There's ups and downs to every year, but I've had probably the most successful year of my life this year, and just all things combined. Like, my mental health is probably the best it's been this year.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I also went through one of the most stressful periods in my life this year. Let's see. I've also, career-wise, I've made the biggest jumps that I've ever made in just like picking a career and sticking to it and advancing through it. And then just in my personal life, like my relationships this year that have been the strongest they've ever been. I kind of felt like my whole like 28th year and my 29th year of life was kind of like going through the weeds of who I thought was important in my life and who I could live without, right? And I feel like this 30th year, like this will be like the solidify of that, I think. So like that's just more or less in like who I need to keep around in my inner circle to grow in the way I want to grow. But I think this taking in, I've spent like the last month kind of doing conscious reflection, where it's just like at the end of most days in the month of October, I kind of was like, okay, let's go through the day, let's go through the week, but let's go through like, okay, what have I done the last 10 years of my life? Like what's worked out? What are some of the experiences I want to stay away from? Who are some of the friends that, like, things I had friends with them and we had a relationship for years, 2 years, you know what I mean? And it didn't work out. Like, why didn't that work out? Was it their fault? Was it my fault? What are some of the things I could have done better? What did I draw from having that sort of relationship with that person? And how could I take those sort of values and lessons and apply them to the relationships that I can't live without, for instance? So, like, you know what I mean? It's just, and I think I've taken the last month for sure to kind of soak in that information, and that's kind of what I'm using as a foundation to go into this next year. So I was like, you know what I mean? I heard a good quote from one of the gurus I use in sort of not life management, but like anytime I need like a motivational speech or like something. Jim Rohn, I've brought him up to you many times. I don't know if you ever remembered, but he's just like, he was an old dude in the 80s and 90s his thing was just go around talking about how you could be a better person. Just,
word.
Even like he talks mostly about what you can do in your career to become a better person, but he extrapolates and basically he's like, in order to find success in your career, you have to find success in your everyday life and become that person that you bring into the office. And it's not the office that or wherever your place of work, it's not the environment that makes you who you are. It's you. So, and a good quote that I got from him is, his dad was turning 80, and he's like, isn't that fascinating? You can take all your 79 years of existence and bring that into your 80th year.
Woo!
So that's what I tried to, this last month, that's what I tried to really just, okay, what did I like, you know what I mean? I went back as far back as, okay, when I was in hockey, and I was all my best years as hockey as a kid, like why was I so good at hockey? Was it because mom and dad brought me to practice every day? No, I enjoyed playing hockey. I enjoyed the people I was with. Yeah. This, and you break it down, and then I made like a mental list of the things I really enjoyed and the things I didn't enjoy, because I also think that's also important, is having a place of discomfort where you don't, you gather all the things that make you uncomfortable, and you say, okay, if I was this type of person with all these things that make me uncomfortable, where would my life be? And it's like, okay, I want to stay away from that direction, and I got to be aware when my life is going in that direction so I can avoid the mishaps from that. And I think that's just what
doing those mishaps again,
or like, even if I do, you know what I mean? Because obviously, life to me is a circle continuously going forward, where like you no matter what, you always fall back a little bit, right? Everyone, life's ups and downs, right? But it's also a back and forth thing, I feel, as well, where like you do, everyone slips up. That's what slipping up is, right? So it's, anyways, that's,
and I think that's, you said so many good things there. That's why I didn't want to interrupt. I was like, yeah, oh shit. And even that quote about his dad turning 80 and taking 79 years, because, you know, especially turning 30 was a weird one. Not for me. I didn't think
it was either,
you know, but literally everybody else.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the reactions, I'd be like, yo, I'm hitting the big 3-0, and people are like, oh. I'm like, what? Like, oh.
How are you feeling about that?
And that's what I was like, and then I felt awkward telling people that I'm like, oh man, this is the best I've ever felt in my life. Like going to 30, I'm like, this couldn't have started off on a better foot. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
But the reactions people give, like, oh no, like, how are you feeling, bro? Are you worried about your back and shit? I'm like, what?
And I think it just goes to show how many people just haven't been taking care of themselves over the last decade.
Yeah, and that's what happens, right? It's
like towards 18, 19, early 20s, I like to party just like everyone else did.
Yeah.
But it's like, since junior high, I've worked out.
Yeah.
I've strived to try to eat clean.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I feel fine, if not, I mean, not the strongest I've ever felt, but I'm getting there. Not the leanest I've ever been, but I'm getting there, you know. And then I hope, because this year will be 10 years, which also just the way it worked out. 2024 will be 10 years since I competed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's like, because I was always like, it's so funny. I wear that shirt all the time, and I never remember what year I competed, and it says 2014 in gigantic fucking letters.
That's awesome. Look at this guy. Sorry not to just cut you off. Look at this guy. Would you ever ride a bike like that?
No.
A lay down bike?
No. You know, I understand the benefits of those, because
that's crazy. That guy's cooking on it too.
Yeah, because you can go fast. They're very efficient for speed versus caloric burn.
Oh.
So it's like a lot of people, and you can carry a bunch of weight on there because there's a bunch of a basket. So it's like, actually, to be going.
Is that healthier to ride a bike like that? I'm just even thinking about like just the lean you have on a regular bicycle.
That's also bad for your back. Yeah.
So it's like something like that's got to be healthier.
It's got to be. Oh yeah. Like, it's especially the recumbent bikes and stuff that's based off of, kind of. It's like those are so much better for the long term.
I feel like you're just doing Pilates though, like mobile Pilates.
I've never. That's not what Pilates is.
I know. I don't even really know what a Pilates is.
I've never done Pilates. That's one of that's one of the fitness things, because that's the one with the board, right?
Yeah, isn't it like I don't really know how to even explain it. I've seen like
it's got like a board. It's resistance training, but it's against. I don't want to say.
I know more about the history of Pilates than I do what an actual fucking Pilates is.
There's a lot of people.
I like seeing this. So even just people going on walks with their like other people. I'm like, this is healthy. This is good.
Oh yeah, that's what I love. That's the one thing Edmonton's got for sure is just nice places to go walk from. Man, what a dope place to be podcasting.
Yeah,
from.
This is great.
This is so crazy.
This is great.
With some fucking cheap ass microphones and an iPhone.
Doesn't take much, man.
And I think that's probably the thing I've appreciated about myself over the and I was saying this the other day because there's more content coming soon. Some really cool shit. Also, check out Dark Skies. It just dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so let me give the plugs in before I
Fantastic,
forget. Streaming everywhere. Produced by Andrew Manzak. Shout out Andrew Manzak. One of our oldest.
I remember, bro. Yeah,
friends.
I remember you showing me that song when it was being built, and you're like it was the guitar section. You're like, look at this, and you're like, I know it doesn't sound right now, but we're gonna put this in the song because it belongs somewhere, and then it fits. You found like the perfect. You and Andrew found like the perfect section for it and stuff like that. But I felt like I heard that. It sparked my memory as soon as I heard it. I was like, he showed me this fucking guitar section so long ago.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing people don't, because I don't show it. It's like how
long it takes sometimes to like produce something.
Yeah. Just because I don't rush. Well, I used to. That was the thing before, is I used to rush things. And now I'm just like, fuck it, it'll come out. Look at Olympus. Olympus is supposed to come out fucking...
Takes as long as it takes type deal?
Takes as long as it takes. You're only going to do it once.
That's true.
You're only going to do it once, and then it lives forever. That's always how I think about it. It's like, once it's out, and it's out forever. There's no takesy backsies. Unless it's only a digital drop. Olympus is only on vinyls. The sale literally ends tonight.
Oh,
not the sale. Not the sale does, but you can still pre-order it for more expensive. I said all of that to say, I think, and I was talking about that while I was making that video yesterday. I was showing you that video. I have, as much as I would like to create from a place of abundance, have everything you need, all the cameras, all of the angles, all of the team. It's like I've learned to do pretty crazy stuff with no money.
Yeah, and the thing you hear about it, and it's like almost cliche now, is that you don't need a lot to get started, and you legitimately nowadays, like the way, even just the spike in what's in a phone.
Yeah,
you're basically carrying around a mini laptop with you all day.
Oh yeah.
The technology, even in your phone alone, the way we're recording this shit, bro, is you need the absolute bare minimums now to get started, and you can make a fantastic product.
And that's what I think I've become more grateful. It's like, because if you were given, I just think limitations is what sparks creativity, and it's like, it must be cool to create from a place where you can do anything.
Oh yeah.
It must be fucking. You hear about like Michael Jackson, and he would spend $1 million a day.
Yeah.
Fucking, because he would rent out 4 or 5 studios and be like, this one feels better today.
Could you imagine having that pull, bro? Like, no, we're in studio suite today because the vibes are there. Like, what?
Yeah, I can't remember what album it was, but it was like, $10-15 million to make.
Yeah, to become like, to have that much of abundance, to be able to do something like that must be fucking unreal. Unreal.
And even, obviously it created, 100 times that amount, the 10, 15, 20 million or whatever it cost to make that album.
Yeah.
He's obviously made hundreds of millions of dollars from it back. But it's like, I couldn't even...
Having the ability to even do that is fucking insane.
But it's cool. What the limitations has taught me is to do a lot of things myself. It's like, I can produce, I can write, I can record.
It takes time.
I can make the videos, I can shoot the videos myself, edit them all.
What time do you want to put into it?
How much do you, when it comes down to anything, how much do you actually love it?
I don't know how much that's gonna.
We'll find out in post.
I guess so. Yeah.
This is what recording in nature is like. Sirens.
That was the one thing living downtown that I don't miss at all. That is anyone that lives downtown, I tip my hat to them because they must sleep like a fucking rock, or just have the loudest fan in the world. But you hear absolutely everything.
Pills.
Or sleeping pills. Or sleeping pills. But you hear everything, bro. Everything. It's so crazy.
I actually can't believe how nice it is right now.
I didn't think it was going to be. They said that we were going to have snow for our birthday. And I'm like, we usually have at least frost on the ground.
Yeah. Fucking
this is like
nothing.
The sun is out. This picnic bench is dry.
Yeah.
The other one? Yeah, the other one we sat down, it was wet. But this one is dry, which is crazy to say in itself because we're outside in the winter. This should be frozen.
I can't believe this. I can't believe how well this has worked out. Honestly, I didn't even think we were going to be able to do this pod because you were the one who suggested that we did this. I suggested the birthday podcast. You suggested the location to be outside, and I was like, well, I didn't. I thought it was going to be freezing.
Yeah, I think we lucked out with the weather for sure.
I just remember even going clubbing and stuff on our birthdays and just
no hoodie, no jacket. Outside in a t-shirt and jeans, bro. Yeah. Having the best time though. Oh, yeah. Having the best, and that was part of the reflection, man. Like when we were hanging out with like Vince and Jake and like Kevin and Calvin
old
and
high school homies, old high school.
And we were going to the club when, like, you know, they were like, you know, Vince was Jake's older brother, so he was a little bit older. He drove us to school and stuff actually, which is crazy to think about. We used to drive to school with our friends and shit. But we used to go partying and shit all the time with them, and we never got into trouble. There he is again. Cruising, bro. I want to see how he approaches this hill.
I wonder how far.
But you see, his back is straight. He's just using his legs. That has to be healthy for you.
Oh, there's no.
It has to be healthy.
There's no. But the thing I'm saying is, I don't know how many calories that guy's actually burning.
Just using his legs?
Like, you know.
It's still got to be. Oh, I guess it would also be dependent on distance and speed.
Yeah, like, you know, like I wonder how far that guy. I bet you that guy finished this trail somehow.
You think so? That fast, bro?
He's already gone.
He was cooking, bro.
Compared to this guy,
he was cooking.
Like, you know, I bet he went to the fucking.
There's a hill right here. Yeah, hill, yeah, you're right. Just rode that bitch all the way down. Could have. But also, it took calories to get up the hill, and it takes.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't burn any calories. What I'm saying is because it's such an efficient way of moving. I don't know. Like,
you're saying the bicycle could be essentially more calorie burning? I got distracted by how nice that Bobcat is.
I don't know why that Bobcat is so nice. It does look brand new. I don't ever think I've seen a Bobcat look like it
just got painted, bro.
I know you guys can't see any of them. Maybe they can. I don't think so.
I think that,
and especially if you're listening, you know, you definitely didn't see it. But there was just a super nice Bobcat.
He's just fucking up the.
It's like, bro, just let the guy. He's not even stop or anything. He's just in the guy's way. The guy's trying so hard not to hit him.
Fuck you, bro. I'm on this walk this morning. This is my time. Well, how do you feel, bro? How do you feel about turning 30?
I feel fine. It feels like I feel like it's just like any other age. I feel like I'm a little bit smarter. I feel like just like every year I fucked up on some things. Hopefully fucked up on things. Trying to fuck up on things less. I'm getting better. My biggest thing is I don't blow up on people, you know. I don't fucking and I've talked about this on the podcast too. It takes me a lot to get to that kind of angry.
This is for the audience strictly. Jordan has this secret catchphrase that no one else. I don't even know if you told anyone else this catchphrase before. I'm pretty sure you've always said it to me. But Jordan, his secret power is he doesn't actually care about anything. And the first time he told me, I was like, bro, you're a nihilist. But there's a
it's like a stoic Buddhist.
That's what it is, and it's when you say it, it's like, bro, what the fuck? You don't give a shit about anything. But it's like there's a
because it's like obviously I care about this,
yeah,
but it's like not to the point where it's gonna affect me. Like
it's like a selfless thing. Is the best way of saying it. It's like you obviously you care, but nothing is gonna get you so upset that you care so much that
it's gonna upset me.
Upset you, yeah.
It's gonna be drastic.
It's so every time you say it, bro, it's because I'll be like, bro, for instance, like the gym. Listen, we're gonna go to the gym today, and I was like, oh, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling good. Like, are you gonna be upset if we don't go? And he's like, bro, I don't care about anything. It fucking kills me every single time.
I'm at the point in my life now where if somebody's not sick or dying or in trouble, it's not a concern. It really is not. You got fired from your job, that sucks. That sucks. Somebody's mad at you, that sucks. But that's it.
Yeah.
Is somebody stabbing you to death? Is someone beating your dog with a bat?
Yeah.
These are crazy examples.
Oh, but it's the extreme, right? Like it's that's it. You're gonna feel the emotion. That emotion's gonna go away.
And that's what it is. It's just it's not that I'm ignoring things. It's for one, people heavily weigh things in their day-to-day life so much. Like, yeah, we had plans to go to the gym. Who cares if we go to the gym tomorrow? Yeah. Who's affected by that? Yeah. Literally nobody.
I think it's the people's schedule that they plan in their head. That they think, okay, this is the way I'm using my time today. I have to do this or I'm gonna feel like a piece of shit.
It's like for me to feel like a piece of shit, and I think that's just what it is. I know the things that I really like to do. I know the things that I like to invest my time in. It's very clear.
Yeah.
I like fitness. I like health. I like to make art.
Yeah.
It's very simple. I like to do these things, and if it's not these things, probably not. Like the amount of shows, and I like shows. I like concerts. I like stand-up.
Yeah.
But I'm very focused on what I'm trying to do, and if it's not those things, then in my head it's a bonus thing. It's like I would rather. And there's so many books on it, and there's Stephen Pressfield, and it's hard not to get distracted by it. But that's okay. That's why we're out here.
Exactly.
That's what makes the episode special. Some kid yelling at his family.
Yelling at his dad to her. He's excited. Excited to be out here. He must have he kind of looks like he just learned to ride with those training wheels through that school this year.
That's a hardcore helmet too.
That's awesome.
A bright orange bike too.
This kid's ready, bro.
Yeah. But and it's cliche and it's fucking, you see it in all of the motivational talks and everything, but the thing I like to do is the work.
Yeah.
I like to make songs.
The process.
And it's like I like writing shitty songs even because it's like, okay, this is part of the process. Yeah. It's like I like shitty workouts. Why? Because it's part of the process.
Yeah.
It's like you only know the great workouts from the days you have the shit workouts. And it's like it's even the same thing with like I take hot baths. That's the sauna. And it's like some days the hot water is hotter than others. And it's like I hate the really hot baths because they're the hardest to do.
Mm-hmm.
But on the days where the water is not as hot, I appreciate the hotter baths.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel...
It's the same with the cold showers, bro. Some days the cold showers are like, holy fuck, this is the coldest thing I've ever felt in my life. And it makes obviously they're still cold, but like it makes them feel... Okay, it wasn't as cold as that day. Yeah. I can fucking do this.
Yeah, and it's like, oh fuck, I kind of wish it was that cold. Like
you have the mindset for it, right?
It's like I just feel that way with everything. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I love stand up, and I can't even when I was doing that Edmonton Arts Council stuff. People are saying, what are you most excited about in the art scene here? And it's like, honestly, I think the people killing it right now are the comedians here. Yeah,
it's I think we both agree on that. Is that the comedy here is so it's something that's undervalued because a lot of people go to these things. It's not like, you know,
and there's lots of
not
shows.
like, you know what I mean? Local comedy here is almost better than the local music scene that we have here. You know what I mean? Like, people will go to a comedy show and be like, let's just try it out. But they won't do that when it comes to music. A lot of people are kind of hesitant when it comes to, like Edmonton music show, like, you know what I mean? But when they hear about it's a comedy show, they'll at least experiment.
Which is an interesting point to bring up too. Like, you know, it's like, because even I am inclined to not go to a music show.
And myself too. Like, it's a bias from myself, right? Like, if I don't know at least one person in the local scene that's at that show or in the band or whatever, I'm like, I'm gonna play Apex tonight. But if it's a comedy show, you know what I mean? They're on Thursdays and Sundays. I don't do shit on Thursdays and Sundays, but I'll go to a Thursday show anytime I'm like, I got a little bit of cash, or a Sunday show. Even if we know nobody on the lineup, you know what I mean?
I know everybody. I know, that's the thing though. I feel like I'm so well connected in the scene now. It's like I don't somebody performing.
Not being on social media, bro, I don't know fucking anybody or anything that goes on anymore.
I do, because I've had times where I've gone off social media. Was it last year or was it 2 years ago now? How long ago was that? Hey, I remember when I there's been 2 or 3 times where I've stopped using social media for like several months.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, if I did, I mean, I'm posting on every social media right now, every day. It's super, super vital to what I'm doing, obviously. But I've been doing better at just not wasting time, because literally I'm just uploading content so much that I'm now like sick of the apps, because I'm always posting
on them and shit.
You know, that I don't feel like I have that, like.
That's why it's crazy. I don't know how people do like marketing and shit like that. Like, the people at my marketing in my marketing department, they're on literally as much as you are on it all fucking day, because it's like not even. Obviously, you have to know what's going on in the world to be able to keep up with trends and stuff like that. Because that's where, like, as much as I hate to say, that's where social media is the most important. Is, okay, what's going on? What's the trend? How do we take advantage of this trend for our organization and profit off it? It makes sense, right? It's just the modern day of marketing. It's what it's grown into. But it's just like being on social media all fucking day blows my mind. I couldn't do it. Even getting back into it now that, like, I'm on Reddit, I'm on Snapchat, and then I was the most recent one I started, X. Bro, I forget to check it. When I check it, I'm like, oh, this is what people are posting on here. I don't want to see this shit right now, right? Like, it's just
what it is.
Being off social media and then coming back to social media is I wish I kind of just took breaks from social media and used it, because the thing I'm finding now is that even when I go on it to like do things and do like certain research things, it's fucking like I don't want to be on it. I straight up just don't want to be. It feels like I'm doing a task, you know what I mean? As opposed to just enjoying the content that's on there.
I do. Because I know YouTube is not a social media app. It's a search engine is what it's considered, actually.
But it's not considered a social media app, even though it's like kind of grown into.
They're socializing on the app, but it's not a social media
that's a good way of putting it, I guess.
It's like when people talk about YouTube being a social media app, it's actually incorrect. There's a social aspect to it, but it's a search engine. It's owned by Google. You know?
That is true.
Can
you DM people on YouTube?
No. You can only comment. I don't think you can DM anymore. You used to be able to.
Could you?
Yeah.
That's an interesting topic. I never really thought about. Well, just like anything else, I guess DMs they have their purpose, but why YouTube?
But okay, where was I going with this point? Oh, I've grown. Well, not only because my YouTube is growing. Shout out if you're watching on YouTube or listening on any other service.
YouTube has been growing lately.
My YouTube has been growing, and but even that, I've found that I've had to, and I've tried my best to engage with the comments more. But now, especially because the reach is getting even outside of this circle of, like, you know, I got a big bump from Cole from the shoutouts and everything, you know, and so I got a lot of his audience who came, and so it's like almost just another community of people. A lot of those people were aware of me because I was in some of Cole's old videos. But
Just
now,
shows you how strong collaborations can be for your brand,
and
right?
that's huge. Shout out to Cole too, man. But now, because the videos are growing so organically on their own,
Mm-hmm.
it's starting to reach. People are commenting like, "Oh, your videos keep popping up. You must be in the algorithm."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh man, I subscribed just because I've been seeing it."
Yes.
But it's like, but now I'm also getting the comments from fucking complete strangers that are just like, this
Out of
guy's
the
got no
box.
job. And it's like, bro, it's like, get out of here. It's like, why are we even talking about these things?
That's the best.
It's so, and that's another thing too that's been interesting is I think a lot of people don't know that I have an education in personal training. It's been most of my time learning about it.
I think people should take things with a grain of salt, but they should also do the research on who the individual is
Before they start commenting. Because, dog, and this has been one thing too, people will say comment, because I won't reply to anything that's even remotely negative. Like I won't.
Why waste your time?
I pass the
I
comments
think
over,
that enough energy is just reading it.
and that's what it is too. And that's ultimately what I was getting at. I was like, man, I'm getting so many, not even so many. It's just across platforms, Instagram, X,
When you
YouTube.
consolidate all comments,
It's like, man, it's like I used to be able to sit in the sauna for the hour and spend like 10 minutes answering everybody. But now it's like, man, to sit and give everybody thoughtful comments back, I was like, fuck. It's like it takes the whole hour, to get people back on
And
the DMs and the
engage.
Snapchats and the fucking, not even talking about emails. It's just like, oh, fuck. It's just so, and I appreciate them all. It's just like,
but it takes time. It takes time.
It takes so much time.
And it takes energy.
And it's like, is it more important to engage with the community, or is it more important to put the time into creation?
Right.
And it's like, man.
But this is why people have teams. This is why people have teams.
And it's not something I'm complaining about. I can't wait. And this is also, I guess, another thing. So to kind of answer the question you asked me, what is 30 to me right now? It's just like, it feels like just another year. I also there was this conversationalist that I was listening to, and he talks about talking better in large groups. And he said you should never say 10 years. He's like, anytime you say 10 years, you should always say decade.
Oh yeah, bro, this is the Asian guy, and he's talking about the
experience or something.
No, this is the black gentleman talking to the other black gentleman about being a pilot, right? Where he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm a fucking 6'8" black guy who fucking flies planes or whatever." And he's like, "Okay, how much airtime do you have?" He's like, "Close to 40,000 hours." And he's like, "Well, how long have you been flying for?" And he's like, 10 years. I always say a decade.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because I've listened to him talk a few times, and I was like, whatever. But that was the one thing. It's now I always use it.
Yeah.
How long have you been making music? Oh, just over a decade.
Because it sounds like he's right. There's more gravity. What does he say? It's more
gravitas.
There's more gravitas to it. So
yeah,
fucking crazy word that just means gravity.
Yeah. I keep fucking getting sidetracked.
Sorry, yeah.
No. And then I was going to say, oh, yeah. Because I'm like, 30 is, it just doesn't seem as big of a, I'm excited to be in my 30s. Because I think, like everyone says, like 20s of the years, you're trying to fucking figure things out. And it's like, I've been doing basically everything. I've only ever really done fitness and art.
Yeah.
And I've continued to do it, the entire time. And I've learned, I failed at a bunch of stuff. I've done good at a bunch of stuff. But I think this will be the year where things, like, I would love to, my next biggest goal is to monetize YouTube, you know? And so that will be an exciting milestone. And I was even talking to Cole about that, we're like just over a quarter of the way there for hours watched. And so, and then it's like it's just to create more. Like I like all of the things that I'm doing, and
how can those things be better?
And that's all it is. And I think when it comes to art, what's cool about what I think, well, just from having an album out and just music in the past is really how especially because I don't make the same style of music consistently at all. You know, I really fucking jump around. Is the music is the thing that has been the biggest time capsule to me. Like, you know, I like, yeah, like you said, I don't care about a lot of things. Like, you know, stuff, especially material stuff, I can give a shit about. Um, Memories come and go, people come and go. It's not that I don't like people, you know, I like people quite a bit. That's why I have a podcast. But it's just like I'm so okay with things coming and going. But the art is the one thing that will always be there, even after I'm gone. And it's taken me almost until just recently, just over the last few years, that I've liked the first project, Life, Living in a False Existence, streaming everywhere, much more now than even when I put it out originally. Yeah. And I was just like, oh yeah, because now I can look at this not as, oh, I want people to like this, but as, wow, I created this project 10 years ago.
Yeah, and this is what it sounds like
now. And this is what it sounds like now. It's like, oh yeah, I remember making and writing these songs.
Damn.
It's like, oh yeah, this is what I was striving for. This is the world I created when I was 18 to 20, you know? This was the sound that it's like, and now what's cool is at 30, I have Olympus and Olympus 2, and I'm like, oh, this is what that sound transformed into 10 years later, you know? It's like, oh yeah.
That's insane.
It's like
you can see the growth.
You can see the growth, and that's the one thing people, even when I did that, it's like, you might not even like the music, but you can understand the quality behind it. It's like, you don't have to, and that's the one thing.
Everyone knows when a bad song is a bad song.
Yeah.
Like when a song is put out, well, it's different now on radio, because everything on the radio is, obviously, it's going to be high quality fucking put out. And it's just a matter of, do you like the way it sounds or not? It's not there's a difference between a bad sounding, that's the way I should say it, is there's a difference between a bad sounding song in quality versus a good sounding song in quality. Like, you can, and it doesn't take a genius to be like, wow, this song sounds like it's someone singing through a fucking tin can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
But that's just like you don't get that growth. Well, most people don't see that growth because they'll hear a banger and be like, holy shit, this song is good.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about the quality. Where this is the project they put out that sounded good at the time. 10 years later, does it still sound good? Yeah. But this sounds even better, the shit I'm working on now. Like that I think, that's just exponential growth, right?
Yeah, and I think because I hope to be able to make art, I should say, because it's like, I also want to do, you know, voice acting and
the whole shebang.
I want to do, it's because I understand I like to be creative.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, why do I like even doing business stuff? It's because it's a creative endeavor.
You have to think.
You have to come up with, that's all you do is come up with solutions to problems. And that's all creativity is.
And that's what we just approach, I think it's funny, we approach creativity because that's the way I took with my career. Is, what do I like doing? I like solving problems. Okay, what problems do I like solving? I like solving computer problems. I like problems on a computer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yours is just the creative. What problems? Doesn't matter what problems. Let's solve all the problems.
I think if you just make something of value, it will solve some of these problems.
Yeah, it's just, I think that's interesting that we both picked up on that, just in different ways.
Yeah. Maybe, I mean, we have had very similar growing up.
Yeah.
Endeavors
in life are very different. Why would you fucking?
I don't know.
Why are you breaking this childhoods?
But like, yeah.
You know, there's only ever been one time in our lives where we didn't live together.
That's true.
So I guess twice. We didn't live with each other twice.
Oh yeah, a few times.
A couple times. But very, very short periods, right? Like no longer than like a year.
Yeah.
At twice. So we've only lived for 30. So honestly, if you think about that, we've only lived separate from each other for 2 years.
That is pretty crazy.
We've had a pretty crazy relationship, you and I, Jordan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was just thinking about that. I was like, man, we only really got into one really bad disagreement.
Ever in our lives.
I mean, yeah, other than like typical,
but that's, you know what I mean. You're gonna get in disagreements with everybody all the time.
Yeah, we've only ever had really one fucking blowout.
Yeah, where
we've talked for
where we had to separate from each other, right? And like, but that's in 30 years of life.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Especially being fucking chill, like, you know, even when we were teenagers and stuff. Yeah, but you made a good point. Even with our friend group, when we used to go out drinking and stuff,
we never got in trouble.
We literally would go out and have good times.
It was no one was fighting. No one wanted to get into a fight. The only trouble we ever got into is like puking outside of bars.
You fall asleep.
I would fall asleep.
That was the biggest thing. You would fall asleep. The way you would fall asleep in the clubs. I always remember our 18th birthday. We had to leave because this guy fell asleep on the main speaker system in the club. The main speaker. There's this huge speaker and he's sleeping on top of it.
It's insane, bro. I would get so drunk and have such a good time. By the end of the night, I wouldn't even leave the club. I'd be passed out.
And I even remember when we went to fucking O2's.
Always, bro.
And you were falling asleep at the table, and the bouncer came and said, if this guy doesn't wake up, you guys have to leave.
I remember being in Calgary with friends. We were like, oh, yeah, let's go to Calgary for the night. We went to the strip club. There was the last thing we did. We went to the strip club because it was our one friend's birthday, and he'd never been to a strip club before. We're like, fuck it, we're going right now. And he had the weirdest experience. He said, he'll never go to a strip club again. He's like, this isn't a place for a men should group together. He's like, he's like, I don't want to be sexual with this around my friends. I was like, fair.
I've never been to a strip club.
You've never been to a strip club?
I've never been to a strip club. I know many strippers. Shout out to the strippers.
I think this is my takeaway from strip clubs. Takeaway from strip clubs. Strip clubs are only fun when you go with other women. Because I've been to the strip club with just straight dudes. It's a good time. Don't get me wrong. It's a good time, but it's not a place where I'm like, yeah, I can see myself being here for hours. Like let's go to the strip club for an hour pre-game. We're with the boys. Whatever, we'll get out of here. Like it would have to take me a lot for me to go to a strip club now. But in the 20s, that was like acceptable.
I never had the.
But when you go with girls, bro, girls have so much fun at the strip club, and I think it's like an empowerment thing because they get so like, oh, look at that chick, she's hot. Look how well she's dancing. Because that was the thing is, it wasn't even how hot the chicks were. It's look how fucking crazy this chick is dancing on that pole right now. Yeah. It takes so much upper body strength that's the thing that it blew me away. But like when you go with chicks, they want to fucking dance on the table and they get more fucked up than the dudes, and they're just having like this. I think it was always just cool to see the women like be themselves and like be empowered and and like party without having to worry about. It seems like the worry about like an opinion of a male or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So like that's why I was like, bro, if I ever go to the strip clubs again, I'm only going with like if it's a party involving women because otherwise the strip clubs are fucking lame.
Because I always thought that like it's never been. I've left many a bachelor party. I'll show up to the bachelor party, have fun with everybody, but as soon as they're going to the strip club, I'm out.
Yeah, like it's just not
always bounce. But I always thought like there's a couple places in the world where they got like or
Atlanta, like you know what I mean. You just go there to see what that's about.
Or even Vancouver. I think there's a famous strip club in Vancouver.
Yeah,
that's super famous. Like I think Frank Sinatra and shit has been.
And
there.
You know, like obviously it's a strip club. So you know what you're getting yourself into. But it's like you kind of just want to go to be like, okay, James Harden's been caught in here, and he's gotten shit from partying in here. You know what I mean? I want to go check it out.
I just don't get the, because I was actually thinking about this the other night. I can't remember why I was thinking about. Was I watching a movie or something? What the fuck was I watching that involved strippers and stuff? Oh yeah. I was watching that new movie on Netflix called it's about the pharmaceutical industry. The fucking dude from Emily Blunt's in it. Dog, I actually, the reason I watched that is because I think Emily Blunt is so dope. I was like, okay, I'll give this a try. And Chris Evans is in it.
Chris Evans
is the main dude, and Emily Blunt is the other.
What? It's a pharmaceutical documentary?
It's not it's based off of true stories.
It's a series.
No, it's a movie.
Oh, it's a
But
movie.
it's not,
Okay,
it's not
sorry.
a story based on fact.
I
It's
see.
just like
This isn't the one that the one about OxyContin. No, Chris Evans isn't in that.
No. But it is about it's about painkillers. It is about, and it's basically about the corruption of the system.
Yeah.
But they like this isn't wrecking things, but it's not that good of a movie. But it was something to watch. I was entertained. I like Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
But they're in the strip club. That's what it is. Because she was a stripper at the beginning.
Okay.
That's what it was. I was like, bro, why was I thinking about? That's what it was. Okay, yeah. And I was like, what? Because it's like video games. Video games is something that I have no interest in.
Consuming.
Interest in playing. Consuming. But I'm very interested in why people like it and just the whole
the industry.
I'm often very interested when you tell me about it because there's so much money, there's so many players, there's so much going on, and I was thinking about that in regards to strip clubs the other day. I was like, okay, this isn't something that interests me, but this is one of the oldest professions in the game other than prostitution. Not that strippers are prostitutes. Not that there's anything wrong with either of those things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
you
anything.
have to, nowadays you have to.
I'm just being clear.
You gotta spell it out.
Yeah. You're a sex worker.
Gotta make your money.
Where was I going with all this?
Emily Blunt, strippers, movie.
Oh, and I was like, you know what? You know why I think people like this is because it's just one of those primal things.
Oh, the strippers.
Yeah. That it's like, yeah, sex is a part of life and everything. It's super important for people's health, all of those things. But we often forget that we just got this primal part in our bodies, and we're just like, because
do you think monkeys do that? Are monkeys evolved enough to like, you know what I mean? To like, is there like a female monkey doing her thing in front of a group of guys, a group of dude monkeys?
So let me tell you about this study. They, I thought I knew that, Jay. They did this. They taught monkeys how to barter with food. So they taught monkeys how to trade. And the first thing that the monkeys traded for was sex. And the female monkeys got food fucking
thrown at them.
Oh man. So and that's what I mean. I was like, we're just animals, and we're just like, whoa. There's a half-naked chick over there.
I want her attention. This fucking...
Not even I want her attention. Just, wow, she's hot.
That's true.
It's like, it's like...
Yeah.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's literally it's who we are. It's built in our DNA.
And it is. It's like, it's like, I bet... I often think about, like, there's cultures back in the day. Even think about the Mayans is a good example. Do you remember when we went and we saw fucking the pyramids?
The god of sex.
And there's just dicks
everywhere.
All over the pyramids.
And they tell you that. They tell you, like, when they're going around, they're like, oh, yeah, there's going to be dicks everywhere. And then they point them out.
Look, you see right above that monkey sculpture, there's a phallus.
That was one of the coolest things. That was one of the coolest experiences that I remember from my childhood.
Was going to Mexico.
Was going to Mexico and doing that specific excursion, other than Dad trying to fucking banter with everyone trying to sell his shit.
Oh yeah.
That was so funny.
Oh yeah. Everyone that is crazy. Mexico is a vibe.
Mexico, the whatever we experienced in Mexico, I've only been there once.
You got your ear fucking pierced in Mexico.
I got my ear.
That was actually...
I think about that all the time too. The guy who pierced my ear knew no English. Dad had to speak to his friend who knew very little English, but they brought us off the street into this building where this guy had full face tattoos, no English, pierced my ear, and we walked out of there. It was like fucking... I don't know how much it was, but I want to say it was the equivalent of like $20 or like $10 or something like that.
It was just, I remember it just being the sketchiest
thing. But no, I didn't get my ear infected.
Yep.
The jewelry was nice, and the people were polite as shit. They knew no English, but they were very polite.
That was a wild thing. Is that the time when I got sick, or did we go back?
We went to Mexico, and you were sick almost the entire time. There was you had some sort of infection in the back of your throat, and you couldn't eat.
So all in fucking inclusive. That's right.
All inclusive. We were getting like nachos and shit delivered.
And all I could eat was ice cream.
Going to fancy restaurants and shit. And I remember Jordan was eating. You were eating, bro, but you couldn't taste anything.
And it hurt my tongue.
And it hurt your tongue.
And it hurt my tongue to eat. And I remember just being fucked up. I had some kind of bacteria or fungus on my tongue. Yeah. And it's like as soon as we came back,
and it had nothing to do with Mexico either. It had nothing to do with Mexico.
I don't know if that's true.
Because you got it. I'm pretty sure you were sick before, and then you were sick on the plane, and then
I don't know if I was sick on the plane.
I can't remember.
All I remember is not
what I do remember, bro, is being in the airport on our way to Mexico, and we were talking about saying fucked up shit in the airport, and then you were you're like, yeah, I'd be crazy right now if someone brought a bomb on his plane and you said it out loud. And Dad's like, what the fuck was you doing?
I was like, oh yeah, this isn't appropriate. We were children.
We were like children. 15, bro.
I was like, that's got to be half of our lifespan or something, you know?
This was literally, so what year is that? That would have been 2008, where it's different life, bro. Yeah, jokes are different. You say that now.
Oh my God, you wouldn't be allowed to fly. You wouldn't be allowed. They wouldn't let you on the fucking plane. You know what also was random? You know, Dad started watching a podcast.
Okay.
Out of all the podcasts there are to watch, do you know which one this guy started talking to me about? He's like, yeah, I started watching these brothers podcast.
No way. Logan Paul, bro?
No.
I was going to say.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. No, fucking Taylor Swift's fucking dude. The football player.
The football player.
Yeah, him and his brother.
Travis Kelce and whatever. Yeah.
He started watching their podcast. He's like, yeah, these guys are great, man. They're funny. They talk about sports.
They're all great. The individual. I think when they were in the Super Bowl together, one of the things that made me the happiest is just that family. I'm like, this family should be so proud of these two brothers. The fact that not only did they get to the highest of heights in their, like, both of the respected fields of career, right? They're both football players. They both made it to the two best teams somehow. They made it to the fucking Super Bowl. That's insane. Insane. That feeling for a mother and father. Obviously, it's good when your kids do anything. Don't get me wrong. Like, that feeling must be the most heartwarming or warming feeling there could ever be. But on that level, though, that's got to be a different feeling. A different feeling.
It's like, you know, your kids can become, like, and I hate to make comparisons, but it's like, you know, one of the most realistic jobs that parents strive for their kids is like lawyer, doctor,
lawyer, yeah.
So would you then say that two football players in the Super Bowl would be more proud for a parent than two doctors in the family?
You would have to, right? You would have to.
But one is literally saving, the other two are saving lives.
But the other two, that's a hard one. That's a tough one.
It's like, obviously one is more prestigious, because like, then I think
that's a tough one, actually, because, you know, even just look at what a doctor is. I think a doctor is one of the most respected career paths you could ever go on.
Yeah.
That's out there. Because I don't want to save lives. There's so many things that gross me out about other humans.
Don't want to save lives.
I shouldn't say that. I don't want to be in the process of making complicated decisions to save lives.
I don't want to save lives. That just makes you sound like,
you know what I mean?
Okay, I have the chance to save lives. No, I'd rather you die.
One of the craziest things that happened to me this year, actually, I have completely random stories. I was involved in I shouldn't say saving a life. It's not like she would have died. I'm sure she would have been fine. But I stopped someone from choking using the old J stroke. I got to use. I've been taught fucking the J stroke. I don't even know when did we learn it. You learn it in high school, right? Don't you? high school gym they teach you.
I don't even know the amount of first aid classes I've
Yeah,
taken
I
over
guess
the
you'd be the
years.
worst person to
So
ask
I was
because you have to take one every single year. But to be able to be like, holy shit, this person's choking. I need to go save that. Like, it was just a weird reaction to where, like, well, I'll tell the whole story.
Yeah.
Tell the whole story.
I remember.
I was having a weird day at work, and
Wait, keep telling the story. I'm just gonna check it, make sure it's
still recording. So I was having a weird day at work, and instead of just being like whatever, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, and I'm gonna just like work out whatever emotions I'm having right now. I'll come back, have a better day. So I'm on my way to the gym, and outside the gym they have like this little section, or outside where you pay to go into the gym, they have this little section, obviously. And there's always at the gym I go to at Commonwealth in Edmonton. There's always like they take groups of handicapped people to go swimming and to go like get a lift in just to go have physical activity, right? So they're sitting out there, and it's about lunchtime, and I'm about to go into the gym, and I see this one girl helping this handicapped lady, and she's like trying to get her arms around her. So at first I thought, oh, whatever, they're having a good day, they're having a good time, whatever. And then like I literally look at them, and then I go to turn in, and they're like, and the one girl who had her arms around the handicapped lady, she's like, help me, this lady is choking, she's gonna pass out. And as soon as I heard that, I put my bag down, and I like ran over to the lady, and I immediately just started giving the J-stroke. And it wasn't even it was, she yelled, I put my shit down, all of a sudden I was there. And then like she spat it out, and I was like looking around, and she's like, the one lady who was helping her, she's like, oh my God, you just saved her life. And I was like, what? And she's like, what? Like, she's like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? It took me a second to like, I was like, okay, she's okay. Thank God.
Yeah.
And I just like grabbed my bag, and I continued. But even like all these people were like looking at me and shit. I was like, I just thought I did the right thing. You know what I mean?
You did.
And I didn't know why because these people were like in awe, like looking at me like, oh my God, that guy just said that girl. Like, you know what I mean? I was just like,
yeah, because it's
you know what I mean? And I felt like, I don't know, I felt like all those other people would have done the same thing.
No.
You don't think so?
No, and I know this for a fact. So just to add even on to...
Yeah,
it's never... It's because you're a kind-hearted person who's also not cowardice. I say the word cowardice because being brave is only... People use these terms incorrectly, and I'm starting to understand. It's like being brave is only shown through action where it's like you could have been cowardice and people would have understood. If you would have been like, oh no, there's people there, I didn't know, like, there was a lot going on. It's like bravery isn't the feeling of not cowardice. It's the feeling of, oh shit,
this person needs help.
No, because that's stepping up to the plate. But it's like other people would be scared. They don't know.
I guess the fact that no one else moved.
Because there's this one. Oh, what happened? I'm gonna fuck up this. Because I'm gonna tell you, most people would do nothing. Yeah. Most people would not act. I think somebody was getting murdered in this.
We might have to take that. Might have to. Because it's starting to get busier.
It is starting to get busier.
I think we hit the prime time.
Yeah.
Right, because people are like, they're coming to have picnics and shit now.
We'll have to fuck it. Okay, let me tell this story.
Yeah, tell us story.
I got one more thing to say because we are just over an hour too.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, I think we could have talked for longer, but I'm glad that we are kind of in this time too. Someone was getting murdered, and it was like in this courtyard, and they got stabbed. Like, it was not like shot and done. It's like stabbed to death, screaming. And there's I think there's 200, maybe even more, but there's like 200 windows that are within earshot of this yard. And so there's no doubt that people did, and people actually, when they went back and the police came and talked to people about it, people were saying that they heard someone screaming for help outside.
No one did anything.
And no one did anything. No one did anything. This person died.
Jeez. extreme.
And it was like, I wish I remembered all of the details, but it's just a thing.
Yeah.
It's never, and this is why when people do the right thing, it's such a big deal, because most people will not.
Yeah.
Most people will not ever. It's never.
And that was just the one thing I was like, I would have never guessed in my entire life that I would use any sort of, because when you're doing CPR, for instance, you're like, wow, I hope I never have to fucking use this. Like, it's just like, it fucking sucks.
But it's like you use it one time and
you feel like you're like, holy shit, thank God I knew what to do in that situation.
100%.
Yeah, bro. I think.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask. I do want to wrap up with one more thing, because we'll tie back into the birthday episode.
Okay. Perfect. Yes.
Okay. We're turning 30. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about. You've said a lot of insightful things about your past reflection.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that part was.
Happy birthday.
Also, happy birthday to you. Yeah, I guess that's how we should have started the podcast. Thank you. And thank you for coming and being on this.
Thank you. This has worked out like it's been great.
It's fantastic. We should strive to always do a birthday episode.
100%.
That would be another cool one.
I think it would be cool to have a collection. Now, could you imagine if we did this every year, and now in 30 years we could look back to our first podcast?
Oh, for sure. I was actually, who was I talking to about that? I think with Max. I was like, the one thing that's going to be the coolest about this from like the artist perspective in me is it's like how many people, especially thinking about when mom and dad come on, but like with everyone, it's like who has a conversation with their mom recorded ever?
Yeah.
You know, barely anybody ever.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, that's such a special thing to with everyone. You know, it was just the mom. I just want to make sure that he didn't get in the camera.
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck up people's privacy. But yeah, with everyone, it's like that. It's like, oh, even you will have many conversations. Obviously, you're honest all the time. But what I was gonna say, and we'll wrap up because it is getting busy over here, is goals for this year of your life.
Oh, goals for this year. So it's weird. I have a couple goals.
Great.
And they no longer revolve around. So a lot of I noticed this when I was reflecting. A lot of my goals have been currency based is the best way to say it. So it's always about
what a way to put it.
It's always about what can I do this year to make me the most amount of money, or how can I be the best person so I can make the most amount of money. Because obviously with the way just like my life has been going, like just the way time has been rolling, obviously money is a very important factor, especially for future things, that like taking care of mom and dad when they get older, and the type of house I want for them and for myself, and the things I want, like just the life I want has been currency based. This year I'm trying to take a step back and not think about money so much, and just involve myself in completing goals that will bring value in my life. Obviously they'll involve currency, but like if I don't make an increase in currency this year, it's not going to be. Obviously, I don't want to take a step back because I do need it. But things like even just in it's going to sound stupid to people, but you know how much I love games, bro. Like I have goals in my gaming career that I want to push forward this year.
Shout out Apex
Legends. There's moves I want to make in Apex this year that will eventually get me back on Twitch and move my streaming career forward. I have goals in just my IT career that I want to push forward and focus on this year. And then there's also just goals I want to flourish in like a relationship. Like there's things I want to become better at in my
a romantic relationship.
No, not even. No. That's the one thing. Yeah. That's the one thing this year. I told you about this. That's the one thing. I'm trying to stay away from
these bitches.
I gotta be careful. Keep saying talking about the streets. No, but I'm trying to stay away from a romantic kind of relationship this year, just because I've been consumed with it. You know what I mean? Since I was in junior high, I've always had a girlfriend, or I've always chased women and thought like, you know what I mean? You do it as a young man, but like now that I'm
as a young man, like we're all 30.
You know what I mean? But it's moving into this year, that's one of the things I want to try to stay away from, just in my own life, just because. Not that it's a bad thing, or like if it, if the perfect woman comes around, I'm not going to say no to it, right? Like if I do end up in a romantic situation, I'll I'll be inclined to like move with it. But like,
Word.
you know what I mean? It's not something
very elegantly.
I'm not gonna like it's something I'm not gonna set my focus on. I'm going into everything this year with I have everything that I've ever needed or wanted. Now I want to make it better. And what are the goals? You know what I mean? Hitting masters in Apex, smoothing out the entire process of an IT department for an organization.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being the best brother I can, being the best son I possibly can. Those are my 4 goals that I want to like. And you know what I mean? They're vague. Being the best son. Well, what does that entail? Well, it's going to entail a lot.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? But that's where the whole year is going to take me. And then I'm going to do the same reflection next year in October. Okay, this is what didn't work out for me. This is what I thought it didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
Was it true this year? Nah, maybe I need to rethink that. Okay, these are the things I thought were good for me this year. Were they good for me this year? Yeah. Maybe I need to rethink that. You know what I mean? So I just think
interesting.
That'll be what I approach. But the most exciting thing in my mind right now is just Apex. That's it. If I had to pick one focus that I'm super, super excited for, it's always gaming, bro. Gaming has a special place in my heart.
Which is so fun. I just find it so not because of. I don't think it's funny the way other people think it's funny. That think that video games is like childish and stuff. I don't see it in that view. You know, even though I don't invest my time into it. It's just because it's something that I get no pleasure.
And I approach this shit like it's fucking.
Because I get it. I get the competition. I
approach it like it's Game 7. You know what I mean? That's the way. It's not life or death. I understand it's just a fucking video game. But I approach it like I approach every basketball game I ever play. Yeah. I want to win. What do we got to do to win? Otherwise, this is a waste of everyone's time. You know what I mean?
And so, I get it. I get the how, what am I trying to say here? How insane the art is, and the designers, and the engineers, and the marketers, and the CEOs, and this is where I think the video game, from my perspective, is that's where I think it's the owner of these games who are pushing, because the business side of video games is what I find the most interesting.
Yeah.
And how often these people rush to put out releases to maximize profit at the cost of a shittier product that they would have waited.
And bro, I'll preach about it all the time, and it's just the direction the industry has gone in, because it's business. It's
profits over anything.
People, when they make something that's successful one time, they're gonna want to make more profit off it. And anyone that says that shouldn't be is kind of like, that's a baffling. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me to have that thought, because if you were to do something and made $1 million, you would be like, okay, how can I make $1 million again? Yeah. This was fucking sick.
I did it once, I could probably do it again.
Yeah. Oh, we can make 1.5 million if we do this one thing. Yeah. You would do it, right? Like,
and that's what it is. So it's like, man, but I find it all fascinating. So it's like, I think it's exciting to have. It doesn't matter what it is, but to have something that you are passionate about, that's, I think, an important thing. Again, and I think we've talked about this to kind of tie it all back together. I think that's really what your 30s are about, is like, these are the things. Yeah, it's like, I like these things.
I like these things. So these people don't. These people think I shouldn't. These people think it's lame that I do. Fuck them.
Yeah, who cares?
I like this.
Who fucking cares?
And I think that's where passion comes through, right? It's because you understand that, and if you allow those thoughts to be like, you know what, maybe they're right. Maybe I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't. Maybe you're not passionate about them.
Yeah.
But if you can live through something and then live through all the negativity, that's where you're like, okay, obviously I'm passionate about this, because all these people told me I shouldn't be doing this, and the thing in my head that wakes me up every day tells me I should be doing this. Well, maybe you should be doing that.
That's crazy. Right? And that's how you feel about this guy goes hard.
That's how I feel about games, bro.
That's such a wild.
And I've taken people's consideration from it. I've taken a year off video games.
Yeah.
I stopped. I was like, you know what, this is childish. I shouldn't be doing this. And every day for a year, I wanted to get up and play video games, but I didn't. And then when I started playing video games, it's like, okay, I just need to approach this differently. I need to approach this in a way where it's not just coming to play a video game, because that's the childish part. Or I shouldn't say the childish part. That's the part where it's strictly entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's not why I play a video game. It's entertaining, but I play it for the competition.
Yeah.
That's where it's fun to me.
Childish is also a bad word, I think. Now, I don't think it's it's not a bad term. It's just used negatively.
It is used. It's the same way.
Childlike is not a bad
It's
thing.
the same way. And I brought this. This was brought to my attention when I started working in IT. It's like being a nerd isn't a bad thing. Being a nerd, there's nerds that are fucking jacked. There's nerds that are fucking the one dude who plays for the Celtics. I can't fucking remember his name. But he got offered a job to work for NASA. He's a straight nerd, bro. Straight fucking nerd.
Yeah, see, it's
starting shooting guard for the Boston Celtics. You know what I mean? Being a nerd nowadays is just being knowledgeable in something that you enjoy.
Because I there's something about that word. I can't remember. I think at one time it was like actually not a derogatory term. I can't remember what that.
But it's the same way. It's the same with childish now. It's like people use it like the word nerd, where it's like, oh, that's childish.
Yeah,
like, no, it's not childish, bro. It's just
no, because it is. It can be childish, just like making a song is almost. It's like just playing the piano. Like it's okay to have the childlikeness,
the curiosity part, but like doing things childishly can be negative.
It can be negative, but it can be positive as well, and that's
just where it's just like you should have childlike curiosity.
And you should, it's like, or then you're fucking.
One thing I do believe.
Or you're old. And I'm never gonna be old. I'm never gonna be old, man. I'm just gonna be. And that's how my one friend commented, and she said, "You're not getting older. You're just becoming a classic." And I was like, "Fuck yes, yo."
My man. Thank you very much.
No, this was a great idea. Thanks for coming on. I'm sure you'll be on again soon. You were just on the Halloween one. you keep popping in. It does. Yes, thanks for being here. Happy 30th birthday, dog. Bro. We survived another. At the end of the day, we lived another year. That's great.
Another trip around the sun.
Anything you want to leave the people off with your 30 years of wisdom?
Exercise. Drink water. Get your 8 hours of sleep.
Can you show me your fucking... I think yours died.
No, Sean.
Oh my god, I wonder when it died.
Is yours on?
Mine's still on. Oh, I knew these things. I knew they wouldn't last, bro. Well, I wonder when it died. Fuck. All right, we're wrapping up there. Happy birthday. Anything you want to say?
Happy birthday, Jay. Thanks for having me on, bro.
This has been a moment with Jay. Fuck. Because I know at the hour, so...